He had just finished inside me when he whispered, "You will never be more than a distraction." I stared at him, my legs still trembling, the taste of champagne on my lips, and I knew right then, I would destroy everything he ever built. That moment, right there, in that overpriced Chicago hotel suite, was the beginning of the end. Not just for him, but for me too. Hey friends. Before I dive deep into this wild, raw story of lust, betrayal, and corporate destruction, I want to say thank you so much to all my amazing subscribers. Your constant support fuels this channel like fire in my blood. To all my new and returning viewers who are yet to hit that subscribe button, what are you waiting for? Come on in. This space thrives on drama, heartbreak, and hard truths. Subscribe now so you do not miss a single twisted tale. It means everything to me. And remember, drop your thoughts in the comments below. I live for your reactions, shock, rage, curiosity, I want it all. Now, buckle in. Because this is the story of how I took down the man who used me, one perfectly timed sabotage at a time. My name is Emily Carter. 32. Born and raised in a small town in Ohio, but I had city ambition baked into my bones. I worked hard, studied harder, and climbed out of every hole life threw me in, heels on, chin up. When I moved to Chicago, I was chasing something. Power, maybe. Validation. I do not know. But what I found was Nathan Steele, the kind of man who made women forget their worth in exchange for his attention. Tall. Mid-40s. Broad shoulders. The kind of confidence that made you hate yourself for wanting him. Married, of course. They always are. He hired me as his executive assistant. Day 1, I knew he noticed me. By week 3, I was already in his penthouse suite, wearing nothing but a red thong and my work badge. He made me feel chosen. He sent me flowers during lunch meetings, told me I was brilliant, stroked my thigh under the table while his wife hosted charity galas. He whispered promises like smoke, soft and warm and deadly. And like a fool, I inhaled them. Nathan told me things that felt intimate. That his wife was cold. That she only cared about image. That he would leave her. That I was different. At night, in his hotel suite, he would pin me against the wall, his lips tracing my collarbone, saying he wanted me in every way. I believed him. Until I saw the hotel receipts. Until I found the second phone. Until I overheard him on a call saying, "She is convenient, and she is good at her job." That is all. Convenient. After all the nights I waited for him to call. After all the times I helped him lie to his wife. After every time I betrayed my own boundaries for him. I stopped showing emotion. I smiled in meetings. I wore tighter dresses. I made him want me again, but only so I could watch him drown. That is when Amanda, my best friend and the only person who knew the full truth, pulled me aside and said, "Emily, you are not just hurting him. You are becoming him." But I had already crossed that line. I started small. I sent the wrong files to a major investor. Nathan blamed the IT team. Then I deleted 2 critical contacts from his CRM system, gone. Meetings were missed. Clients felt ignored. His reputation dimmed. I played the loyal assistant. I cried on cue when he yelled. I made everyone think he was the problem. And he was. But so was I. He started losing deals. The board began asking questions. And I kept feeding the chaos. He would storm into the office red-faced and confused. I would sit calmly, take notes, nod at his anger, then leave the room and smile. I knew where every body was buried. Every fake invoice. Every manipulated spreadsheet. I had access to it all. Nathan still tried to have me. Still reached for me after hours, begging for my touch like a man needing air. I gave it to him, rough, fast, fake, and then I left him aching. And when he asked, "What happened to you?" I said, "You did." I found out he was buying a yacht for his wife. A gift. To thank her for sticking by him. That same week, he told me I was emotionally unstable. So I pulled the trigger. I forged an email with his credentials. Sent it to our biggest international client, insulting their CEO's daughter. Attached was a spreadsheet filled with doctored numbers, ones I knew would raise suspicion. Federal suspicion. The fallout was immediate. He was pulled into investigation meetings. Clients pulled out. The board froze his shares. He looked at me one day, standing in front of his shattered empire, and said, "You did this." And I smiled, full red lips and sharp teeth, and said, "Prove it." The day Nathan Steele's career started bleeding out in public, I wore red lipstick, 5-inch Louboutins, and a black silk blouse with no bra underneath. It was not about seduction anymore. It was war. And I came dressed for the kill. People began whispering in the office. The interns were scared to breathe wrong. Our PR manager cried in the bathroom 3 times that week. I watched it all like a woman perched at the edge of a cliff, sipping champagne while the city burned below her. Nathan, once a man who could own a room with a smirk, had become a paranoid shell. He stopped trusting everyone, except me. That was the part that made me feel godlike. He still thought I was the only one who had his back. But I was the one sharpening the knives. Every day, I gave him a reason to doubt his own brilliance. "Did you not approve that budget report, sir? I forwarded that investor list. Maybe you just missed it. I sent that reminder. Perhaps you accidentally deleted it." He started triple-checking things. Started questioning his memory. Started snapping at people. That was the exact version of Nathan I needed the board to see. Amanda, my best friend and former college roommate, started keeping her distance. She saw what I was becoming and she hated it. She invited me out for drinks one Friday evening after work, just to talk. I agreed, mostly to keep up appearances. She looked me in the eyes and said, "You are better than this." I replied, "You do not get to tell me how to handle my betrayal." Amanda sighed and stared down at her glass. "You are acting like a woman who wants him to suffer more than she wants to heal." And she was right. I did not want healing. I wanted scars. Scars so deep he would feel them every time he looked in the mirror. I began creating fake calendar invites and sending them from his email to the legal department. One of those invites mentioned insider trading. That triggered a full-scale audit. The feds came in suits and silence. They asked for files. I handed them USB drives. I knew exactly which documents to give them and which ones to misplace. The thing is, when you are the assistant, no one questions you. You are the shadow behind the throne. I made the whole kingdom rot from within. And Nathan, poor Nathan, still called me Angel when no one was around. He was unraveling. His eyes looked darker. His voice cracked when he spoke. But his pride would not let him accuse me. That was the one thing I never touched, his ego. It would destroy him better than any email ever could. Then came the moment I never expected. Vanessa. His wife. She came to the office. She walked in wearing a tailored cream coat and sunglasses worth more than my rent. Every head turned. I watched her from my desk, my mouth dry. She was elegance and calculation wrapped into one. Nathan stumbled out of his office to meet her. He kissed her cheek, forced a smile. She looked past him, directly at me. And then, with the confidence of a woman who always knew she was winning, she walked right toward my desk. "Emily Carter, yes?" I nodded slowly. "I would like to speak to you. Privately." I followed her into the boardroom, feeling a sudden knot in my stomach. She closed the door behind us and faced me. "I know," she said simply. "I have known for months." I stayed silent. "I did not care that he was sleeping with you," she continued, "because men like him always do. But I care now. Because someone is trying to ruin everything we built. My heart froze. Was this it? Was I caught? But then she said something that flipped everything sideways. I do not believe it is him. I believe it is you. And I want in. I thought I misheard her. You want in? I asked. Vanessa removed her sunglasses. Her eyes were like steel. He thinks I am clueless. But I am not. That man made me a housewife when I used to own companies. Now I want to feel power again. I want to see him humbled. So, if you are the one behind this collapse, then let me help. It should have made me feel disgusted. But all I felt was adrenaline. Vanessa was not a victim. She was a strategist. And suddenly, I realized Nathan was not our only common enemy, he was just the first. We met twice after that. Discreetly. She began feeding me more information, offshore accounts, hidden bonuses, shady contracts. I used everything. The collapse accelerated. Nathan had no idea his mistress and his wife were feeding the fire together. In the following weeks, Nathan was accused of fraud. Internal investigation. Frozen accounts. SEC involvement. He looked like a ghost in meetings. Pale. Silent. Drained. One evening, he called me into his office. I walked in slowly, trying not to smirk. He stood at the window, looking out. I built this from nothing, he said. And now it is slipping through my hands. I said nothing. He turned to me, eyes glassy. I do not know who is doing this to me. But I feel it. Like a knife in the dark. I walked closer, placed a gentle hand on his chest, leaned in, and whispered, "You should be more careful who you trust." Then I left. He sat in his chair for an hour after that. Alone. Lost. Amanda showed up at my apartment 2 nights later. She looked furious. "I know what you are doing," she said. I opened the door wider. "Do you? You are playing a dangerous game, Emily. And now you have his wife involved? What happens when this all explodes?" I poured a drink and sat down. Then it explodes. He deserves it. Amanda stepped closer. "And what about you? Do you?" That was the first time I truly paused. Do I? I was not the same girl who fell into Nathan's bed. I was colder now. Sharper. I had become a weapon. And I did not know if I could stop. Nathan's career was in freefall. His board issued a vote of no confidence. The shareholders demanded his resignation. And then, just to add gasoline to the fire, I leaked photos of his affair, with me, to a local gossip blog. The headline read, "Corporate King Falls from Grace After Secret Mistress Revealed." His phone rang all day. News vans appeared outside. Cameras. Scandal. Headlines. He called me one last time. "Was it you?" he asked, voice shaking. I answered calmly, "You are not the victim. You are just the last to find out." Then I hung up. I took off my heels, laid on my couch, and laughed until my ribs hurt. The day Nathan Steele resigned was the day I finally felt empty. No fireworks. No champagne. No sweet release. Just silence. He walked out of the boardroom in front of flashing cameras, lips tight, jaw clenched. He said all the right things. "It has been an honor, I believe in this company, I am stepping aside to allow room for growth," but his eyes never lifted from the floor. Everyone clapped. But no one smiled. That night, I sat in my apartment staring at my reflection in the darkened TV screen. I had won. I had won. I had set the fire, fed it, and watched it consume everything he built. But the only thing louder than the crackle of his downfall was the silence in my soul. The company began to crumble soon after. Investors pulled out. Multiple departments shut down. Layoffs happened fast. HR became a revolving door. Amanda was one of the first to leave. She stopped calling me. I did not blame her. She warned me. She watched me spiral and still tried to reach out. But in the end, I let revenge become my identity. The federal investigation intensified. The financial records I tampered with, intentionally, became the foundation of a case I could not control anymore. Nathan went silent. Disappeared from the media. Vanessa too. And suddenly, I found myself not feared, not admired, but watched. I received a letter from the board. Then another from an attorney. Then a call from someone in the FBI. They had questions. I sat in a sterile room with 2 federal investigators and a stack of folders thicker than my thighs. Miss Carter, were you aware that confidential files were sent under Mr. Steele's email credentials? Yes. Were you the one who sent them? I was the executive assistant. I had access. Did you manipulate any financial data? No. They looked at each other. One of them leaned forward. We are not here to arrest you. Not yet. But we need you to understand something. If you were part of this collapse, if you did anything to accelerate it, we will find out. I nodded. I smiled. I said all the right things. But deep down, I felt it. The fire I had lit was no longer mine to control. 3 weeks later, I received a handwritten envelope in my mailbox. No return address. Inside was a letter. Emily. You were never just a distraction. You were the storm I never saw coming. You ruined me. And I deserved it. But so did you. N. I folded the letter and placed it inside a drawer. I never opened that drawer again. Vanessa vanished. Gone. No social media. No trace. I reached out once. Sent a message to the encrypted number she gave me. No response. Then I read the news, offshore accounts drained. Funds transferred. Shell companies dissolved. A quiet, elegant robbery done with surgical precision. Vanessa did not just want to destroy Nathan. She wanted to inherit what he left behind. And she had used me to do it. I was not the mastermind. I was the pawn. And once my usefulness ended, so did her contact. I should have felt rage. But instead, I felt admiration. She was everything I pretended to be. 2 months after the collapse, Amanda asked to meet. We sat at a small bar on the north side. I had not seen her in weeks. She looked rested. Calm. Confident. I need to confess something, she said, stirring her drink slowly. I waited. I was feeding information to the board. My stomach flipped. What? She nodded. You were spiraling. I tried to stop you. But when I saw you would not stop, I gave them just enough. Enough to catch on. Enough to isolate Nathan. Not enough to pin it on you directly. I blinked. She continued, I was trying to protect you. In my own way. So you betrayed me? I saved you. Silence. I wanted to scream. To throw my drink. To cry. Instead, I laughed. A low, bitter laugh. You are just like me, I said. No, Amanda replied. I am still me. You are the one who does not recognize herself anymore. The investigations continued, but I walked away clean. No charges. No trial. Just whispers. But my name became poison in the corporate world. I applied to 5 companies. 3 responded. 1 interview. No call back. I started freelancing. Working remote gigs. No face. No identity. Just quiet money. Sometimes I still see Nathan's face on old business magazine covers, now used for what not to do articles. Sometimes I imagine Vanessa lying on a private beach, sipping wine while the world wonders where she went. And sometimes, I stare at my ceiling and wonder who I really became. Here is the truth. I did it. I sabotaged his career. I wanted him to burn. And I made sure he did. I wanted him to feel powerless, small, disposable, just like he made me feel. And I got everything I wanted. But the power? It does not feel like power when you are alone. It feels like a trophy on a shelf no one visits. Would I do it again? Yes. 1,000 times. Because if you ever know what it feels like to be used, discarded, forgotten, you will understand. I was not looking for justice. I was looking for control. And for a moment, I had it.